Are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah!
It's showtime, folks!
Throwdown Nation, what is going on? We are live on a Tuesday night. It is July 14th, 2026, and we are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. It is episode 250 of the Throwdown, the community on the interwebs where we celebrate the art and sport of professional wrestling with a strong focus on the indies. I'm your host, Matt, and today we are throwing down with a wrestler slash luchador based out of the great state of Ohio. Welcome with me, Noro Demora. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Like I said before we went live, man, I've been looking forward to this one. And for those of you watching live, let me direct your attention to the ticker that's running on the bottom of the screen. That contains all, or at least most, of Noro's social media accounts along with mine. So do us a favor, if you aren't following or subscribed, take the time and go to each of the platforms and do so. It definitely helps both of us.
Definitely.
And something else that I want to let everybody watching live know, if you have a question or comment, you can put it in the chat, or if you're feeling brave and you want to actually ask your question in person, there's a QR code up in the upper right corner of the screen. If you scan that, that'll actually allow you to log in and basically ask your question in person. And all we ask is that you mute any background audio and just be at least reasonably civil in your conversation. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and really the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
So I've actually only been doing this for like literally maybe 6 months. Like I trained for a year, and now I've been wrestling now for about 6 months. I'm actually technically still not released yet, but I've been taking bookings that like my coaches will give me and tell me like, hey, like we think we can put you here, put you there.
Gotcha. So you've still kind of got your training wheels on, but you're getting to do some work. So that's good.
Absolutely.
So who actually has trained slash is training you? Because training, as we know, is a never-ending process.
Yeah. So I train out of Superman Onyx and Donnie Hoover here in Columbus, Ohio, at New Ohio Pro Wrestling Academy.
Gotcha. So, in the early stages of your wrestling training, what would you say was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to kind of wrap your mind and body around? And what surprised you the most in the early part of your training?
Oh man, definitely how much stamina is needed in this. Like,
yep, cardio.
Yeah, man, the cardio is like really tough in this. Like, I didn't really understand how much cardio is important to this until I got in the ring, and then they told me, hey, we're gonna get you guys doing like practice matches and throwing in those like 3 to 5 minute matches. And in just those 3 or 5 minutes, I was getting blown up. And I'm like, man, how can these guys go for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? Like, it give me a new respect to the whole game, man.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So taking a look over at the Instagram chat, we've got a few people already showing up. We've got Harry Hammer 52, Big Mo Dog, and Cool Rocket 29.
Okay.
So did you come to wrestling with a previous athletic background? Had you done other types of sports? Had you done any other type of combat sport or martial arts prior to wrestling training?
Actually, no. The only other thing I've done is probably baseball and basketball, but like actual like combat sport wise, no, I have none. No experience at all.
Interesting, interesting. So I'm presuming that you've been at least a fan of professional wrestling the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
Absolutely. Since I could even say any words, since I could speak, since I could be able to open my eyes, I've been watching professional wrestling for years.
So what would you say is your earliest wrestling related memory?
Earliest wrestling related memory. Let's see. Man, that's a tough one because like there's so many. I'd say probably when I was a kid, I remember my dad, he would throw on, I think it was SmackDown if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was SmackDown or Monday night, but it was the feud of Eddie Guerrero and Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
He was first going for that championship, the Undisputed Championship, the first time. I remember that clear as day. And then another one was, which was a big one who inspired me, Rey Mysterio, like getting to see Rey Mysterio for the first time on TV. And like seeing how small he was, but how impactful he was. Like he looked super, like he looked like he wrestled like a big man in the ring. And that impacted me since young.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm a good bit older than you are. I'll be 57 in September. And, you know, the interesting thing is, when I was of the age that I could have considered going into the business, it was still very, very much just the land of the giants. And I'm a comparatively small guy. I'm right around 5'6". So, I mean, you know, professional wrestling was just not an option for me then. And so now, you know, to some extent, I find myself kind of living vicariously through the smaller, really athletic guys that are out there now tearing it up. You know, the Rey Mysterios, the Adam Coles, the Bryan Danielsons, you know, people like that that are not the biggest guys, but are just amazing in the ring and can hang with the big guys. So
absolutely.
So what was the first live show you ever went to as a fan?
Man. It was a house show in Madison Square Garden because I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh,
so
nice.
It was actually a house show in Madison Square Garden for WWE. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, we ran into Eddie Colon that day too. Like he was going into the stadium.
Oh, that's cool.
We ran into Eddie Colon, which is pretty cool. But I remember, like, I don't remember much of it, but the one thing I do remember was like the house show, the main event. It was John Cena versus Triple H, and it was like this was like probably 2011, probably like I think so, yeah, probably like around 2011, 2010.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. So, obviously, the physical side of this is all extremely important. So tell us a bit about your gym routine. And in your mind, what are the most crucial exercise or group of exercises that you use to keep in ring shape?
So it's kind of weird too, because like I separate my gym days to like a specific body part. And you know, I think one of the guys that I train with, because I actually go to the gym with him, and he's taught me everything I know to be in the gym. And he taught me to like work on specific like body parts to strengthen that on that specific day. And definitely like I work out my arms. I do chest on Monday, arms on Tuesday, sometimes shoulders on Wednesday, or if not, I'll take like a rest day. Back on Thursdays and legs on Fridays. So I like try to break up the
Nice.
as best as possible, just to give my body like time to rest as well. Like I don't really like doing a push and a pull day because I think it's not really working out the groups you really need to do. But oh man, I think the one thing that's really important is like for one, steadily working on that stamina is really important. That's the number one thing that I never really get to work out until like I go to training. That's when they really work me out on that stamina, and that's the one thing I really think I should focus on more, because having the stamina that you need in the ring is really important. But not only that, like I really believe that like your arm strength and your leg strength are super important too, because your arm strength you don't want your arms to go like numb or like kind of weaken out when you're lifting somebody, because we do a lot of moves that you got to lift somebody, and God forbid you don't want to drop somebody and hurt them or hurt yourself, you know.
Right.
And I think leg strength is really important too, because your leg strength, for one, you're moving around the ring, and especially like if you want to be like a luchador flying all over the ring, that's very important because you're going to be moving around a lot with your legs. And say if you're going to be doing like a press on somebody and you're going to be squatting them or whatever, like Ace Austin, he does that squat press. You don't want your knees to give out. You don't want your legs to give out too. So definitely I feel like your legs, arms are the most important, but the cardio is most important, like the really top tier most important.
Absolutely. So, again, glancing over at the chat, we've got more people rolling in. We've got Shannon Marie, 2515, The Rebel JSK, Forever Firefly, 24, and Triple DFC, 123, hanging out with us tonight. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your hobbies and interests? What do you like to do with whatever spare time you might happen to have?
Oh man, I'm a sucker for binge watching. I love binge watching stuff. I'm a big movie person. I'm a big TV show person. I love binge watching anything I can do. I also love art. Like I love getting into whatever art I can do. Like if you can see in the corner, I got a little art piece that I'm still working on.
Oh, nice.
Haven't done much with it, but I'm still working on it. I'm trying to fill it out and just day by day find whatever I want to doodle on it and add it on if I want to. I do little art pieces here and there, but whatever I can get to. I like going on walks. Weirdly, I love going on long walks, going into nature walks as well. It's very peaceful, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the music. Music is number one to me too, because my dad he's been involved in the music industry for years, and it's been something that is tapped in with me as well. So definitely, I love listening to music. Whenever I can get into a piano, I'll definitely play a piano here and there. But yeah, very, very like artistic. I'm a very artistic person, I'd say.
Very cool. Yeah, that's interesting because this show, when I first started streaming, it was back in January of 2024. And the first 6 months of the show, I was actually doing a similar type of thing, but I was talking with unsigned music bands. I'm a hobbyist musician myself. I play bass and rhythm guitar. And so, I did that for 6 months, expanded the content into wrestling actually 2 years ago this month. And I discovered fairly quickly that it was easier to get reliable bookings with wrestlers than it had been with musicians. So I kind of shifted the focus mostly over to wrestling. I still do an occasional music-related episode, but we're pretty much a wrestling show at this point.
Okay.
Speaking of that, we're, like I said, mostly a wrestling show, but we do obviously dabble a little bit into pop culture. And you mentioned that you're a binge watcher, and I'm always looking for recommendations. So are you watching or listening to anything really cool right now?
Oh man, right now the show I'm binge watching right now is One Piece. It's an anime. I'm binge watching One Piece right now.
Mm-hmm. My son has mentioned that from time to time and says it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's just really long, man. Like I'm on episode 333,
Oh
and
my gosh.
they said there's like probably like 1,600 episodes out there. So I'm like really far behind.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm in the process actually of the whole time it had been on, people were after me to watch it, and I just never carved out the time. So I'm in the middle of watching The Boys off of Amazon right now, and it is really good.
Yeah, I've never came around to watching The Boys, but I am big on superhero shows though because like right now
Yeah.
I'm watching Spider Noir with my family. We're
Oh
watching
yeah.
Spider Amazon, and it's pretty good. Actually, I like it a lot.
Well, definitely give The Boys a try. I think you probably really dig it if you like superhero stuff.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah, I definitely love superhero stuff.
So again, for folks that are watching live, if you have a question or comment, you can obviously drop it in the chat. Or if you're feeling brave, there's a QR code up in the upper right corner, and if you want to scan that, you can actually log in and come on the show audio only in person and give us your comment or ask your question. And, like I said, it's audio only. And the only thing we ask is that you mute any background audio and be at least somewhat civil in your conversation. So, outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Outside of wrestling,
Yeah,
I I can definitely say my dad. My dad he has been a huge inspiration to my life. He is the person I go to for everything, all the advice I need, anything just in general. He's literally like my spiritual father and my actual father. And I kid you not, I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for the dad that I have right now, man. Like he's definitely blessed my life, and he's just been a huge blessing to me. You know, like when I need that support, or when I feel like I don't have that strong support system, you know, here comes my dad, to just like tell me like, listen, man, like I understand things are frustrating right now. I get it, and especially like you know me that I consider myself a perfectionist. Like if things don't go my way or if they don't go the way I want it to be or how I see it or envision it, he'll tell me like, listen, man, like you're putting too much to it. Like you're doing good. You know, stay steady on it. Just keep on working on your craft. Stay hustling, and above all, you know, keep God first in your life. And
absolutely.
you know, my dad, he's the one that's kept me steady, and he's like the biggest inspiration. I see him as my superhero, man.
That is beautiful, man. And something that I've really noticed the last couple of years, especially, is it seems like there is a spiritual revival of sorts going on in the wrestling business. That
Absolutely.
there's a lot of people that are either coming to faith or are being more open about their faith. For instance, Nathan Frazier,
Yeah.
he has two separate Instagrams, one for his wrestling stuff and one for, Christian related material. And so, I'm just curious if you can tell us a bit about your faith journey. Were you raised in a Christian home, or did you come to faith later? How did all of that come about?
Actually, yes, I have been raised in a Christian home. My father, he's a minister, he's a pastor as well,
Oh,
and
very cool.
I've been in church my whole life. And you know, Jesus has been number one in my life above all. And you know, I definitely can't speak on this because you know it's my journey, it's my testimony. There was a point in my life where I deviated from church, and like even though I was still going, I didn't feel that connection. You know, I didn't feel like it was something that I wanted to do because it wasn't in my spirit to do it. You know, I didn't have that desire. I just felt like, oh, you know, because mom and dad are going, I'm going. But then something broke, and you know, I just found my way back to God, and everything that I felt like felt empty was now filled again. And you know, I thank God for every opportunity and everything that I have in my life, every little moment, even the things I got going outside of wrestling, even things that I got going on in wrestling. You know, I thank God for everything because He's put me in this position. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't even be sitting here in front of you if it wasn't for God opening that door and you know putting us in this position to even be talking right now. You know, He wakes us up every morning He gives us that breath,
Yep.
man. You know, it's super important. And I understand some people don't really understand what it means to have that connection with God. And I really think it's like, you know, God will come to you in the perfect time. You know, it won't be on your timing, it won't be on my timing. You know, be at God's perfect timing because his time is divine. And it's the reason, it's funny enough, it's the reason why I had this balance here. You know, I keep my life balanced at the same time as I have church. You know, I have my wrestling life. I have to keep it balanced. I can't let one tip to the other side. You know, it's really, this has a real big meaning to everything that I do. You know, and there's a reason why I chose even my nickname in wrestling. I chose the divine balance because you know the balance of life is divine. You know, you have to keep God steady, and you have to keep both balanced at the same time. You can't have one tipping over in the other. You know.
Right. Absolutely. I'm going to throw it back up for a second. My wife actually just sent us greetings. She's watching over on YouTube, and she was just wishing us a happy 250th episode, man. I'm actually glad it worked out that you were the one on this because man, I can tell already you've got something special, and man, this is just very, very cool. So
That's so much. Thank you.
God definitely knows what he's doing when he brings certain circumstances around. So we've got Jay Enrique 573, Lydia Crespo 66, and Morales R 1976 hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
So, you were mentioning the mask and everything, and we were even talking about that before we went on the air, man. That mask design is just absolutely cool. The scales of justice and all that. So, they say that the best in-ring personas are usually yourself kind of turned up to 11. So
Absolutely.
tell us a bit about in-ring Noro Demora and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you and kind of tell us how the persona has evolved over time.
Definitely. So like, it's funny. It's kind of hard to still speak on that because I'm still trying to find my rhythm in the ring.
Right.
I'm still trying to understand who Noro is. And, it's kind of weird too because right now I work heel, and it's kind of hard to figure out how I'm going to balance both sides. But I'm still figuring that out, and it's still a work in progress. But I really think in the ring, Noro is someone who is he's trying to think 3 steps ahead. And how can he maneuver you and outmaneuver you in the best way possible to, for one, get the dub, and on top of that, find a way to still work and show that he can out wrestle you without having to be dirty. But even though he's gonna do what he has to do to finish this match and get to where he needs to be, because everybody else is just gonna be in the way.
Gotcha. So Noro is playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
Absolutely. That's the best way I can put. Man, that was beauty right there. That's the sauce right there.
Well, thank you. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? And what were your thoughts about it?
Oh, man. It's crazy. I've never actually gotten to talk about my very first match, so this is actually going to be pretty cool. So
awesome.
My first match was actually against my own cousin. And
that's cool.
It was pretty cool because I actually wrestled my first match without the mask. I didn't wrestle with the mask my first match. Mm-hmm. I came in with the mask, but I didn't wrestle with it. At first, the mask was just going to be like Lee Moriarty, how he has his mask and he'll take it off before the match and do what he's going to do, But I took it off. And I felt like, this is what Noro's going to be. This is who he's going to be. And during that whole match, I felt good. It was great. Everything went exactly how it was supposed to be. The only thing is, of course, it's match 1. Not everything is going to go exactly how you plan and exactly how you want it to look, how you envision it. So, of course, there was a couple spots where I'm just like, dang, man, I could have done this better, or I could have put more heat into this, and like I could have, put in more like action into this one spot instead of just not just standing still or not doing anything, But I definitely enjoyed my first match, and it was actually really fun. I was truly blessed to have my first match against my own cousin, which is really cool. And unfortunately, I didn't win that match. I actually lost.
Well,
But I personally think it was a blessing just to have, for one, have that opportunity to be in there, and then to have that opportunity to be in there with my own blood. It was actually a really blessing moment for me. I never actually truly got to tell him that, but I enjoyed it so much, and it was actually really cool. Our first match was actually in front of a crowd, and the crowd was like special needs. They were all people with special needs.
oh, that's cool.
It was like it meant so much to me. It meant so much to me because it was so special, And I felt like we're truly blessing their lives with this moment just to get to see professional wrestling.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Looking over at the Instagram chat, Andrew Mitchell just showed up, and he said, "Let's go, Noro. Can't wait to share the ring with you."
Oh man, who was that again?
Andrew Mitchell.
Andrew Mitchell. Listen,
Yeah,
man,
it says
I'm looking forward.
his Instagram is pro_Andrew_Mitchell.
Definitely, yeah. I actually went against him in a battle royal. He was actually, I didn't get to face him 1-on-1, but we will soon, man. I'm glad you jumped on here, man, because I definitely want to face you.
Nice, nice. So, you've mentioned you haven't really been doing this for that long, but if you can narrow it down, what has been your favorite match that you've been a part of thus far in your career?
Oh man. My apologies. I say I'd have to give it to my match in DCW for Big Jim. It was against Race Dang Bannon, and Race Bannon, I have so much respect for him, for one, and he is a hard worker. I feel like he is somebody that the indies are going to be able to soon really see who he is, and like I wish you see how talented he really is, because that man can get in the ring and like just he works really good, and I love him. I go to him for guidance, and I work with him all the time, and I really get to have long conversations with him. And, like I have him like kind of critique all my stuff, and I feel like that match was so important to me because I look up to him. I told him I look up to him like a big brother, and we got to go against each other back at DCW on May 9th. And it was really cool. It was a fun experience. I had my family there. I didn't win, but to be able to, even though not win that match, still gain his respect, that meant so much to me, and it was a really special moment. And I think Race Bannon versus Noro round 2 should happen. Someone needs to book that match, Race Bannon and Noro Demora round 2, because I had a lot of fun, and I still got some juice in the tank. I still want to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've got to run it back.
Absolutely.
So, what would you say? And again, you haven't been doing this for that long, but you've probably developed at least a few of these. So, what would you say is your biggest wrestling-related pet peeve?
My biggest wrestling-related pet peeve, man. That's a good one, actually. Man. I'm not a fan of, like, death matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eventually, I told my coach, like, maybe one time in my career I'll ever do that one time. But,
yeah,
like, I'm not a big fan of death matches. Just for the factor of, like, for one, there's no reason for us to do a lot of bloodshed in the ring. If it makes sense for the story, then okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
If it makes sense for the story, then it's beautiful. But if it's just a random match and you guys just go ham on each other and you open each other up, like, dude, like, for one, respect the promotion, respect the promoter that he's giving you the opportunity to work, And then on top of that, it's just I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like death matches. But if that's the promotion that you're in, like if the promotion is big on death matches, then okay, cool. I'm not gonna throw shade on that because that's not my job or that's not my position to. But if it's just a
Right.
normal promotion and they specifically tell you like, hey, like we stay away from this, we're family friendly, and you still
Yeah.
go ahead and do that, like that to me is like, dude, like come on, man, that's a big disrespect.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely know your audience and know your environment. I mean,
Yeah, definitely, like you can read the crowd, and then if the promoter was really clear with you, like come on, man, like you don't got to do that.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, death matches are not really my cup of tea either. I've had some death match guys on the show, and man, those cats are a different breed. I mean, it's and I've got to respect them for being able to do the types of things they do and still emerge at least reasonably unscathed. I mean,
Yeah. For real,
but
absolutely. Like you just said, you got to give them the respect. Like, absolutely. Like, for one, if that's your niche, if that's something that you're into, or that's something that you want to do, or that's something that you're striving to do, okay, cool. I would never degrade that,
oh
and I
no,
respect you for doing that. For one, because for having the willpower to even get into that, man, that to me is just like, nah, man, I can't stand seeing my own blood. For you guys to see that
yeah,
every single night that you wrestle, oh heck no, man, that's not me. That's not
yeah,
me for
yeah.
sure.
One thing that's kind of funny though is, like I said, I've had I've had some deathmatch people on the show, and almost without fail, the deathmatch accessory that they seem to fear the most is Legos. They don't want to bump on Legos. They said thumbtacks, glass, whatever is fine, but bumping on Legos just sucks. And I mean, I've stepped on Legos, and that's bad enough. I couldn't imagine bumping onto Legos. That would just be awful.
That hurts. I can never step on Legos. But like granted again, like I said, I'll probably only do it once in my life ever if I ever get into a death match. For one, it has to fit the story, it has to fit, the company and whatever the promoter wants. But dude, Legos is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's a crazy piece to do on a death match.
Yep, absolutely. So Andrew Mitchell actually has another comment. He said Noro can teach everyone on the indies how to do better with posting on social media. He's one of the best with his socials. So, man, you're getting all kinds of love from Andrew Mitchell. Man, that's awesome.
I appreciate that.
And Andrew, while you're here, if you would like to come on the show yourself at some point in the future, drop me a DM, and we can definitely make that happen.
Oh, definitely. Listen, I recommend you get Andrew on here, man. He's a really young talent. He's really good. And on top of that, like the man has so much knowledge. Like I never even knew he actually wrestled in Florida before coming here to Ohio.
Really?
And like, seeing his work, I was like, dude, like you're genuinely really good. Like I really wish that people can see you more and like you actually get out there and promote yourself even better. Because he came up to me telling me about my social media work because I love posting pictures. For one, I'm big on fashion as well. That's another hobby I forgot to say. I'm really big on
Mm-hmm.
fashion, and I'm really big on color schemes and fashion and taking the right pictures. I'm really picky on that too, and I just love. I'm photogenic as well. I love taking pictures. So he told me, he was like, dude, like your social media is like it's really good. Like you really stick to your social media. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I love taking pictures. So it's one
Yep.
thing that it helps me out a lot because for one, that also shows the people outside like, oh, like this guy, he not only wrestles but he has an eye for the niche or like
Yeah.
for like color schemes and just really being
Yeah.
professional with some things.
Composition and aesthetics and lighting and all of that good stuff. Yeah, it's all important.
I'm definitely big on aesthetics, man. Like I just love kind of like finding something unique and different. anything that's unique and different or even weird. Oh, that's all me, man. I love it.
So this question actually has been one of my favorites. I've asked this in virtually every episode, and this has really been about a 50-50 split, and everybody has their reasons for answering one way or the other. But if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, man.
The tough questions, that's what the Throwdown's all about, man. Make you think and make you...
Man, that's a hard one. I'll definitely say great in the ring. I'd say great in the ring. Because if anything, if you're not good on the mic, that's why we have managers here for, That's why we have people in that position to get managers or, like, get connected with someone who is a manager so they can be your mic piece and you being the piece in the ring. You do your thing in the ring, somebody to be your mic piece. So actually, preferably, I'd say be a great wrestler than be on the mic. Because, if you're on the mic, but you can't top it off with the wrestling, then you're just a guy who can talk,
Yeah. But man, the people that are exceptional in both aspects, man, people like that can virtually write their own ticket, like the MJFs, the Will Ospreys, I mean.
I feel like one who mentioned so much too, Carson Drake in NWA.
Yeah.
Carson Drake is amazing. Dude, I got to see him live, like actually do his thing live on the mic and wrestle, and I'm like, this guy's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
That I say, really, for one, he needs to get signed. But the man is amazing. Richard Holiday is another one too. Richard Holiday is amazing on the mic and amazing on the ring. Like I just love him.
And I mean the rumors are swirling that Richard Holiday is signed.
I believe it. Honestly, I really think that he got signed to NXT. I really think he's gonna be in WWE pretty soon. Yeah,
man, and I am excited as can be for that, man. To have him bring what he does to the big platform, man, it's going to be great.
It's about time. Richard Holiday is really good. As a matter of fact, he's better.
He's
great. Really good talent.
Absolutely. So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? Is there a match or matches that are kind of near and dear to your heart that you find yourself kind of circling back to?
Man. That's actually a really good one because there's so many matches, man.
Yep.
I'm really big on, like, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself going back to, like, a lot of La Sombra, Andrade.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my favorite matches of Andrade is him versus Hiroku Goto. Him versus Hiroku Goto. That match is really good. And then another one that I watch a lot is Hayabusa versus the Great Sasuke. I watch that match a lot as well. And, oh, man. I say Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle is another one.
Yep.
And then just for, like, the crowd work wise, The Rock versus Hogan.
Oh, yeah. The double turn.
The WrestleMania one, Rock versus Hogan. Man, that is the perfect match to watch.
Yep. J Enrique 573 commented, as far as good workers, Jake the Snake Roberts, amazing mic work and mythology, and I've said this before, I kind of grew up watching Jake Roberts, and the thing about his mic work is he was one of these types that would very rarely raise his voice. He would just calmly and quietly tell you what he was going to do rather than being yelling, screaming, foaming at the mouth, And they always say, fear the quiet ones, And man, his promo style was just killer.
Absolutely. And that's crazy, too, because Jake the Snake Roberts, like, his style of promo is kind of the style I want to get into. Like, it's just, one, it's so clean cut, like, so smooth and clean cut. He's so calm,
Yeah.
even though he get his point across very viciously. Like I love
Yeah.
his form and style of it. Dusty Rhodes was another one that I kind of weirdly I like his promos. Like
Yeah.
it's just his style is so different too, like his southern style too, him being from Georgia, and like it was
Mm-hmm.
so different. But Jake the Snake Roberts, man, he was
Yeah.
really good.
You know, somebody else to study who is kind of in that same vein as far as his promo style is Raven.
Raven, wow, that's crazy. I've actually never seen never studied Raven promos. That's a good one.
Oh, dude, you need that's your homework. You need to go down the Raven rabbit hole and check his promos out, man. You'll thank me later.
Definitely, I'm definitely gonna have to do that then once we get off of here.
So, kind of piggybacking onto that question, do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
All time favorite promo. Oh man, I think my favorite promo of all time has to be the Eddie Guerrero promo when he was cutting on Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar was bringing up the fact that he was an addict or a former addict,
Yeah,
and Guerrero was cutting back like, you know what, you're right, I am an addict. I'm addicted to the wrestling. I'm addicted to being in the ring. I'm addicted to the adrenaline, the fans. You know, him coming back from all that, knowing his past,
oh
and then
yeah,
being able to conquer all that in the ring, especially the fact that his actual real life past fit into the wrestling story. Man, that
yep,
to me was gold, especially him being Hispanic himself, because I'm Hispanic myself. I'm Puerto Rican, you know.
mm-hmm.
So seeing that kind of person on that level and being able to get to that moment and then fulfill that moment, you know, that is really big on its own. That
Yeah,
promo was one of the craziest too because it really got really in depth in his personal life. It got really personal.
yep,
So that was something that I
yep.
was like, dang, like it went from personal to still being able to respect the wrestling, and it was beautiful to me. That storyline was the best one. That's my favorite one of all.
Absolutely, man. And we lost Eddie way too soon.
No, seriously, man.
So this question is one of these questions that the the answer to this can change almost moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day. But in your opinion, at this very moment, who are the best male and best female wrestlers in the world? Who's the best man and who's the best woman?
The best man and the best woman.
Yep.
For one, I have to give number one to MJF for the men. MJF, I think he's the top, like at the top, the very pinnacle. And can he only be one? Like one for both?
It doesn't have to be, but I mean, don't do like a laundry list, but one or two, you know.
I got definitely. So then for the men, I'll definitely say MJF. And then for the women, man, because like she has this like kind of grip on WWE, I'd say Rhea Ripley. But in my opinion, I genuinely think that Toni Storm was actually, in my opinion, the best because she just brought her character out of nowhere and it blew up. So character wise and wrestling wise, I think Toni Storm really had it and really is the
Oh yeah,
best wrestling.
yeah. I'm hoping her recovery from her injury is going well, and we can have her back, you know, sooner rather than later.
Oh, definitely, man, definitely.
So, in your opinion, what is the best storyline in wrestling right now?
The best storyline in wrestling. Hmm. Dang, that's a tough one. Because there's a lot of good storylines going on right now. Okay, so they're really building up Will Ospreay right now in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I think the buildup that they have with him, of like him being the former leader of United Empire, then he went against the Death Riders, and now he's riding with the Death Riders. You know, they
Yep.
fully haven't tapped in with Will Ospreay and the Death Riders going against United Empire. I know it's there. I know it's waiting. It's cooking up. But
Yep.
I think that storyline with Will Ospreay and the Death Riders and having him, win the Owen, and now they're going to be in Wembley next month. I really
Yep.
think that storyline that's going on right now, it's like the best storyline because they secretly still had a storyline for Kenny Omega, and then they gave him the title last week, and now
Yep.
it's going to be Kenny versus Osprey. I think to me they're like
Man,
they're building
yeah,
something right now.
they are. They are. And that match with Kenny and Will is going to be sick. I mean,
It's going to be I think that's going to tear the roof off. Even though I don't even think they have a roof, but I think it's going to blow the place. Like it's just going to be amazing. And I mean, weirdly too, the story that's going on in WWE with Oba and Brock, I think that's amazing too.
oh yeah, yeah. We'll talk about this in a little while, but I've got a hot take question for you, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Definitely.
But so, and this can be present day or past. Who would be a dream opponent? Who would you love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
Dude, that is like, I love this question right here. So, present day, Andrade, he's one of my dream matches. Kyle Fletcher is definitely one of my dream matches. I don't know if it'll ever be able to happen, but, excuse me, sorry. I think, like, Seth Rollins, because I met Seth Rollins when I was young. I met him when I was I met him in 2014 when they went for SummerSlam back in New York. And Seth Rollins, another person, man, I dreamed to have a match with him. And then I'd say my fourth, and I'll keep this my last person. Okada. Actually, no, I have one more. Naito.
Okay. Oh
Naito.
yeah.
That's another one of my dream matches. Those are my 5.
Nice. So, in-ring chemistry is obviously extremely important. And, you haven't been doing this that long, but have you found a person that you've had more than one in-ring experience with that you've got great chemistry with, and if you're working that person, it's going to be magic? Have you encountered such a person yet?
I say the guy I actually mentioned before, Race Bannon. Definitely, yeah. I work really good with him, and I feel like that's another reason why I want to hold another match with him because the chemistry was there. It was really good, and I think we didn't get to showcase a lot of what we can do because I know he can do so much more than what he did, and I know I can do so much more than what I did, and I know there's a story we can build in that. So I definitely say Race Bannon is someone that we have really good chemistry in the ring, and I definitely want to continue that. I want to continue that going on forward.
Nice. So, what is your favorite move? What is something that you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do, and that can be giving or receiving?
Okay, the move I love doing is it's actually I kind of took the move from Andrade, but it's the fake kick to the elbow, to the spinning elbow.
Oh yeah.
So I actually took that and made it my own. I do like a fake out knee, so I make it look like I'm gonna go for a knee, and instead I spin for that elbow. That's my favorite move of all time. I've done it in every single one of my matches already.
Gotcha, man. And before you go on to the other part of it, man, you've mentioned Andrade a couple of times, man. He is operating on such a cool level right now. I love what he's doing in AEW right now.
I kid you not. He is number one for me. Like, he's literally the number one dream opponent for me. I would love to step in the ring with Andrade.
Gotcha. So, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do, giving or receiving?
Man, there's this move that there's a luchador that wrestles with us at our academy. He does this move as his finisher. And Samoa Joe does this move as well. And me personally, I don't think I'd ever take this. It's the package pile driver.
Oh yeah,
Oh, dude, no, I can't. I can't. I think they call it the
yeah,
muscle buster. But
yeah. The muscle buster. Yeah,
dude, I don't know. I feel like in me, I'd be too scared to take it. I'd be too
yeah,
scared, especially getting folded up like that and then taking a backdrop. Oh man,
yeah,
I'd be too scared to for anything to go wrong on that. Because I mean, that's what got Tyson Kidd out of wrestling.
yeah, yeah. And the thing is, you know, with what happened with Tyson Kidd, um, nobody really did anything wrong. It just kind of
It just
happened, you
happened.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's crazy too because like there's a lot of moves that people do on the daily, and first if you do something wrong for a split second, it'll take you out. Like Chris Bay, a move that he's done a
yeah,
thousand times, it took him out.
yeah, yeah.
And
Uh,
that's a scary
and
thing.
and that's the thing, you know, day to day, our lives and our well-being is not guaranteed to us.
Oh
So,
man,
you know, every day is a blessing.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's why I think that move right there, that's the scariest move for me to take.
So, you know, you haven't been doing this that long and you're still a comparatively pretty young guy, so this may not apply all that much, but I'll ask it anyway, and that is what hurts right now, if anything?
Oh man, my lower back, dude, my lower back is killing me right now. And like I like to tell people because like people tell me all the time like, oh, but like isn't this stuff fake or whatever? I'm like, dude, for one, don't use that word. That's so
Yeah,
disrespectful because
yeah,
you don't know what goes into this.
exactly. The F word is just not
And
what any of us want to hear.
I never want to hear that because when I tell you the amount of pain I wake up in the morning on my lower back, dude, I've already had two doctor's appointments just to check my lower back to make sure I'm okay. Because I'm like, I'm too young to be feeling this pain. I'm only 23 to be feeling that. Oh man, nah. The lower back pain is crazy because then it also like kind of stiffens up your hips and then it goes up to your spine, your upper spine too.
Oh
Especially if it's
yeah.
the muscle, like if it's the lower back's muscle that's really hurting, because that's what's hurting me right now. Man,
Mm-hmm.
it's you have to tough it out sometimes, especially doing these long drive to these promotions and like like if your match is like 3 hours away. Like I had to wrestle in Michigan and that was a 3 hour drive, and dude, my lower back was like dying and I'd even wrestle.
Yep. So, in the short time that you've been doing this, what has been the worst bump that you have taken?
The worst bump that I've taken. Um. Oh man, I definitely would say I was going for like this top rope senton, and this was
Mm-hmm.
just during practice. This was just during my training. I was going for a top rope senton, and like I hesitated on going down, and I landed on my wrist,
Mm.
and like that one really took me out for a couple. So like here and there, my wrist will hurt. That, and on top of that, I was practicing like this kind of like to flip over your opponent. Like you have to like kind of do a headstand and then flip over your opponent. I was working on that in the gym, and I accidentally like slipped off and hit straight concrete floor.
Mm.
So like
Yeah.
I've learned that doing that move is not the same, and it's gonna hurt if you do it incorrectly. And it's just like
Yep.
if it's not necessary, don't do it. I've learned that I'm not meant to flip. I'm not meant to do all these crazy stunts. But if it's necessary, if it's needed, if it's gonna tell a story, I'm gonna do it.
Yep. But you know, your bump card is only so big, and
Seriously, man.
don't waste the big bumps, man. Save them for special moments.
That's crazy
Because
because that's what my coach tells us all the time. It's like, dude, you can do like a 10, 15 minute match with only a few bumps. You don't have to
yep,
do all crazy bumps.
absolutely. So here is the hot take question. You know, recently, after however many years in the business and hard work and all of that, you know, Sami Zayn finally got to the top of the mountain and got the WWE title. and then 9 days later, without a single successful defense, he drops the belt. So, what are your thoughts? Should Sammy have gotten a longer run, or is him being a transitional champ okay? What are your thoughts on the Sami Zayn situation with the belt?
You know, it's crazy because I spoke about this with one of my coworkers, and you know, I think that Sammy definitely should have held it at least a couple more days. I already understood in the moment that he was going to be a transitional champ. Like,
Yeah,
to be honest, I already understood that from the story. He was going to be a transitional champ.
right, but not that transitional.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be like 9 days and then boom, like you got the title, your first defense. But it was kind of like, and this is what I'm saying about when it comes to like telling your story. The next 9 days, okay, boom, you guys are on Raw. He says he's going to defend the title on Raw. Your title's not meant to be on Raw. It's meant to be on SmackDown. So what are you doing on Raw? That's one thing that already threw it off for me completely. And then another thing was that you're in Chicago. You're telling me that you're going to be in Chicago and not have CM Punk come out? Like, that already told me, I was like, dude, he's going to lose the title tonight, and it's going to destroy him. It's gonna end right here, because I definitely think at least, you know, I thought they were gonna give it to him and let him hold it till like SummerSlam, and I thought I was like, that'd be a good story, you know, at least give him till SummerSlam. You got a couple weeks in there, you know, and then you make a story out of it. I didn't think the next Monday Night Raw, okay, boom, you're done. Yeah, like, I think to me that was kind of messed up. Even though I'm a CM Punk guy, I love CM Punk, but I didn't think that title was going to be dropped in 9 days. When I saw that, I was in disbelief. I was like, there's no way they gave this guy the title and makes him lose in 9 days. As soon as I saw that the open challenge happened and they're in Chicago, I'm like, dang it, man. They're going to take the title off of him.
Yep. So, like I mentioned, you know, you're still a comparatively pretty young guy, but knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh man, stop focusing on how perfect something can be or how well something can go, and just enjoy, you know, have fun. You know, on top of that, put God first at all times. You know, if I feel like if I would have put God first from the beginning, you know, things probably would have went my way as I would have thought it or would have like imagined it. But you know what? God's plan is the perfect plan. And
absolutely.
I really think that, you know, if I can tell myself this at a younger age, you know, stop focusing on what the future looks like and how the future can be. Yes, it's nice to think about it, but stop focusing on that and focus on the now, because you're going to miss everything that's in front of you and all these opportunities that are in front of you. And it's just going to be a revolving door of opportunity. You're just going to stand there worrying about what could, you know, what you can do, what could have been, or what can be, instead of realizing that everything's right in front of you right here. You know, God gives you all the utilities right here in your hands. You know, for one, it's just focusing on the now and realizing that God already has that path paved. You know, he already made that path. He already knows what the end looks like. Just listen to him, let him drive, let him take over, and enjoy the ride, you know?
Yep, Jesus take the wheel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So J Enrique 573 agrees with us. He said Sammy should have had the Darby Allin run until SummerSlam.
Yeah. You know, given to Darby, like Darby was defending that title every single night.
Yeah, he was. Man, Darby's insane. I mean, you know.
That's an understatement. That man is crazy. Yep. Like, the stuff he would do, the things he would like go against, and for one, putting himself to glass willingly.
I know. Yeah, I know.
You're insane.
So, you know, Andrew Mitchell had mentioned earlier, you know, complimenting you on your social media game. So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
Dude, it's so important. It's so important because I feel like yes, being a good wrestler is nice, but on top of that, if you're not on top of your social media game, I feel like it's like a tool that's not being used, it's not being utilized. It's like the last little bits of pieces of like, let's say if you're building something and you don't read the manual and you forget that you have other tool sets there that can help you keep it sturdy, keep it sturdy and firm and good strength. Utilizing your social media is super important because for one, the younger generation are here. They're the ones that attract the most. If you grasp them, you grasp basically the whole world because then they're gonna go to their parents and like, look, mom and dad, I wanna be like this. I wanna buy that. I wanna buy their merch. I wanna go to their shows.
Yep.
That's where the younger generation is for one too. And on top of that, you can use social media however you want, utilize it however you need to, however you want to, for whatever purposes you need. And I think it's super important because for one, promoters are on there. They're on there all the time. For one, they're
Yep.
promoting their stuff. They're promoting their game. They're promoting their promotion, their next show. So why can't we promote ourselves? Get in contact with promoters. This is not like it's not like back in the day that you guys didn't have phones. Well, I'm not saying you guys didn't have phones. Hold on, you didn't have that social media, and like you didn't have that extra outlet to reach out. You had to actually go to these shows and go to these promoters and like get to know them, get to understand them, and meet them. And this you can actually get in contact with promoters from anywhere. Like I can get in contact with a promoter from Cali right now, and him not
Yep.
even knows who I am. But I
Right.
feel like we need to really utilize this platform as best as possible. For one, for good, not to not to bash anybody, not to trash any promoter or like wrestler or whatever. Don't do that. But like use it for the good. Promote yourself as best as possible for one. Whatever it is, like whatever target audience you're going for, utilize that as best as possible. And on top of that, have fun with it. Take pictures, post your promo pics.
Exactly.
Post your new gear or whatever. Post the next match you're
Yeah.
gonna have, show you're gonna be at, or even if you're just gonna be in the area and there's people that they want to see you at a show. Even if you're not wrestling, just go enjoy, have fun. Even if it's just as a fan yourself, go enjoy. You know, and I feel like it's something that we should utilize a lot because everything's right here. Everything's given right here.
Absolutely. So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Well, for one, above all, I pray. I say a prayer before I even get into the ring, and while I'm in the ring, I say a prayer before and after. And I do a lot of stretching. I'll take like a band. I'll take a stretch band with me, and I'll make sure I'm stretching my shoulders, making sure my neck is a little loosened up. And above all, stretching is number one. I feel like people really don't understand how important stretching is until you're stiff, waking up in the morning feeling like a robot. Stretch.
Yep.
Like seriously stretch. That's so important before a match. But nah, man, like prayer is number one to me. I pray before I go out there, and I pray when I'm in the ring before I match.
Yep. Yep. So, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest ask a question for the next guest. So last night I had a wrestler based out of West Virginia who actually was somewhat familiar with you, a guy named Brian Compton, Bitter Brian.
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah. And so the question that he posed is if both WWE and AEW called you at the same time with the same deal, which company would you go to?
Well, that's an easy answer for me. AEW. AEW, and I
Okay.
say AEW because I've already known Tony. Like I've seen people that wrestle for AEW, and I know a couple of people who do wrestle for AEW, who like they tell us that like their schedule, like Tony Khan works with their schedule really good, and like he's really understanding on some things. And I really think I love his work for one, especially with his connections with like CMLL and New Japan. And he's really connected with the indies as well. Like he would let you still wrestle your indie shows if you want to wrestle at an indie show. He'll still give you
Right.
that leeway to go wrestle at your indie shows wherever you're gonna get booked at. He still gives you that leeway. And for me, I'm a family person, so I really think that having time to spend time with my family, having that time, I've seen a lot of people already say, Tony Khan's really he works well with that. I genuinely I love that. And honestly, I would just
Right.
love to be the AEW brand. I'd
Yeah.
truly be.
Yeah. A lot of people, and in my opinion, unfairly criticize Tony Khan for being a money mark. And I mean, to some extent, I get where people are coming from with
Oh no,
that.
definitely.
But I also feel like, more than the management at WWE, particularly under the TKO banner, Tony Khan loves and cares about wrestling.
Absolutely.
And, and I mean, he is genuinely passionate about it. And if you watch interviews with the guy, it just shines through.
Seriously.
So I yeah, I think it would probably be a more pleasant experience working for Tony Khan than it might be working for at least the corporate management at WWE.
Yeah, and
So,
I feel like for me too, like WWE is really targeting more of the entertainment part of the business, which is there's nothing wrong with
right.
that. There's a lot of people who do
No,
fit that. They do fit that category, and it'd be perfect for them. Like a Richard Holiday, it's perfect for him. It fits his
oh, for
category,
sure.
And
Yep,
there's people who they love the entertainment, and then there's people who love to wrestle. I'm one of those people who I love the wrestling part. I love the wrestling aspect. And on top of
yeah,
that, Tony does give you that leeway, like I said, before to wrestle in those indie shows, wrestle at other companies, like Konosuke Takeshita. I just saw Takeshita live this weekend at the G1 Climax. I was there at the G1 Climax, and like seeing Takeshita live for this is the second time I've seen him live too. Like being able to work G1 for New Japan and see him in AEW, like you get to see two different sides of him and how he
yep,
wrestles and his style. So I love that. Tony Khan gives you that leeway to still travel around and do other shows while still being signed to
yep,
AEW.
yep. Man, the future for Takeshita is so bright. I
Oh,
mean,
a title run is just waiting for him in AEW, man. Like I'm talking about the
yeah,
world title run is just waiting for him in AEW.
absolutely. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question you would like to ask to a future guest?
Man,
If you can't think of anything immediately, you can always DM me later. I mean,
definitely. Let me see. Oh, okay. I got one. If there's a
okay, what you
specific
got?
style, if there's a specific style of wrestling that you enjoy, like how would you rank it and why? Because there's different styles. You have American, you have lucha libre, you have strong style, you have British style. If you can choose one to be at the top, which would it be, and why do you choose that?
That is actually a really good question. How would you answer that?
I think Japanese strong style is my favorite one for one. Like Japanese strong style is amazing because the amount of talent and the amount of strength and endurance you need to be taken from these guys because they can
Mm-hmm.
they can hit for real. Like I was close to the ring and I'm hearing them really lay it in there and I'm like, man, I would love to be in that ring right now doing the same thing they're doing. And it's also on top of that, it's just an art. It's so beautiful the way they do everything because they do everything with such a passion. And I think Japanese
Yep.
strong style is it's a beautiful style. And then British style follows it right after.
Yep.
And I'd say lucha libre and then American style. Because I mean, nothing to, not to diminish American style. It's really good, but there's so much more to it. Like these other styles, there are art. Like lucha libre is its art on its own. It's acrobatics. It's its own art.
Yep. Well, one of the cool things, and really, it's to a great extent, a lot of credit for this can be given to the indies, and that is, right now there is literally a flavor of wrestling to suit anybody. I
Seriously.
mean, and there is so much good content out there right now that it's hard to find time to consume it all. I mean,
Like right now, the specific style of wrestling I'm consuming right now is technical wrestling because I want to be
mhm,
technical myself in the ring. So that's something that I want to start studying and really getting into. And instead of thinking of, oh, what can I do next? Just off the rip, I already know what to do.
yep, yep. So during his farewell tour, John Cena kept bringing up the concept of leaving wrestling better than he found it. And and I just thought, well, what a cool thing to strive for. So I've kind of incorporated that into my repertoire of questions. And, you're a young guy, you're at the very beginning of your career. But ultimately, what do you hope to do to eventually, years and decades from now, how do you hope to leave wrestling better than you found it?
To be able to say that you can truly balance your life out correctly. It's not just all about wrestling. There's so much more to
Right.
this wrestling.
Yep.
So I'd
The
love to be,
scales.
yeah, I'm telling you, it's all about the balance, man. And that's
Yep.
what I really want to leave a mark on. That you can live whatever lifestyle you're living. Okay, cool, live that, but it has to be balanced out. And there's always have to be a perfect time and a perfect place. And as long as everything is always balanced out, everything's gonna fall right into place.
Yep.
And I want to be able to put a spotlight on the fact that you can be a Christian and wrestle as well.
Yep.
You can be whatever belief
And
you wrestle as well.
and and God's timing is always perfect,
Absolutely.
and sometimes He's going to put you into situations that may seem awkward, may seem uncomfortable, but the name of the game is bloom where you're planted,
Yeah,
and so
definitely. Water the grass where you're at. It's never greener on the other side. It's gonna be greener where you're watering it.
absolutely, absolutely. So we're pretty much at the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you want to give some hype to?
I don't have anything for this month or next month, but in September, I believe it's gonna be September 7th here in Obetz in Columbus area, Columbus, Ohio. But in Obetz,
Hmm.
we're holding our Zucchini Fest show, which is it's a
Nice.
festival. It's a festival, like a 4-day festival, and we're gonna be at the end of the festival, which is the fourth day, and it's the Zucchini Fest show for New Ohio Wrestling. It's where I wrestle at. It's my home base, and I really want to shout that out. New Ohio Wrestling, come check us out. We're gonna be wrestling at Zucchini Fest. You can find us on Instagram or on Facebook. You can even hit up, any of us who wrestle there and ask us like, hey, like what's gonna be the day, what's the time. Eventually we'll be throwing up the flyer soon because we don't have the flyer out just yet. But September 7th, we're going to be doing Zucchini Fest here in Obetz, Ohio at the Fortress Obetz. Definitely, if you want to see me wrestle, I'll be wrestling that day. And definitely, just come support. It's a free show. You're not paying anything. Just come support, have fun, enjoy some wrestling. Enjoy it with family. Because we consider ourselves family every time you step in through our doors or you come to our promotion. We consider you family. So step in, enjoy some wrestling, and have fun. Come and boo me, please. That's what I wish for.
Absolutely. Well, as far as what we've got coming up on the Throwdown, tomorrow, Wednesday, July 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got episode 251, and our guest is another masked wrestler, a guy based out of New York, TKO Dean. And then let's see here. Yeah, this coming Tuesday, the 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got episode 252 with a wrestler based out of the great state of Florida, Drake Xavier. And at this point, I am actually booked pretty much through the month of August. I'm starting to take bookings into September. We've got some really cool stuff coming up, so definitely keep an eye on my socials. We're usually doing 2 to 3 episodes a week, just depending. And like I said, we're rolling along, no sign of slowing down, and just having an absolute blast doing it. So, before we wrap all of this up, do you have any final words?
Well, actually, I have a person who I'll suggest for you to get on this show, and get on these live
Please.
streams. Race Bannon, I definitely recommend you hit him up. He's a really down to earth person, and I really think that you guys will have a great time listening to him. And just
awesome.
picking his brain. Race Bannon, definitely get him on here, get the chance to talk to him, and just pick his brain because he's got a lot. He's got a lot of talent and a lot of thoughts, and I feel like he can really provide a lot.
I will definitely reach out to him. Yeah, it sounds like that would be a good time.
Definitely.
And for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, definitely do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern with TKO Dean, be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep throwing down.
Absolutely.